Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I'm alone. I'll be discussing the first and currently only series in the Sonic movie franchise, or I guess sub-series, Knuckles. This show focuses on Knuckles. Well, in big quotation marks, focuses on Knuckles, and was released in 2024, just before, not, I mean, a few months before the release of Sonic 3 in theaters later that year in December, which was, I believe, didn't make that much money. I mean, it made money, but it was competing with a Disney movie. And next year, and the next movie is entering some steep waters. The next movie is entering some steep waters. I have to say, because the next movie is in 2027. It's coming out that year, and it's competing with a lot. There is currently no movies for February, which is weird, but we do have. But that March, that last week, those last 2 weeks of March, are going to be massive. We are going to be getting a Sonic 4 on the 19th. It currently has like no competition then. However, it does have competition the week after with Godzilla X Kong, Supernova, and The Legend of Zelda coming out. So that's two video game adaptations at once. That has happened before, and then these are two big ones. But Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is huge, and getting all of that. Those are all American movies based on Japanese franchises. That is cool. that is a cool coincidence for them all to be released then. However, yeah, it's a big week. It is a big week, honestly. Then, of course, there's some other movies here and then. There's the Star Wars Starfighter, Beyond the Spider-Verse, How to Train Your Dragon. There's a Marvel movie in July. We don't know what that one's gonna be. Batman Part 2, hopefully, finally. Apparently, Frozen 3 is coming out. And then Avengers Secret Wars and The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, both on December 17th. Yeah, those movies got delayed. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, which was the Brave New World episode, but all those movies got delayed. Doomsday and Secret Wars were delayed, and now the schedule is shifted around. And also, three Marvel movies got deleted from the schedule, which were movies slated for February of next year, November of next year, and November of 2027. Those are all deleted. Currently, this is fucking Marvel. I gotta say, currently Marvel has some other movies planned. Planned. God, has other movies planned. Let's see here. Things about the X-Men. Yeah, whatever. Can I find it? Cultural impact. Yeah. Can I see movies? Okay. Things on films. Yep, I know that. God. Here we go, films. So I know that the MCU has some other movies. Like there is one for July 23rd, 2027, and in the future, there's some other movies here and there. I think I mentioned this before. That we have movies for slated for 2028, so they're not taking a break. Like Phase 7 is pretty much starting the like 2 months after the end of the multiverse saga, and people believe that they're gonna push the X-Men hard with Phase 7. I think they're right. I think Mutant Saga will be the next thing. We have February 8th, May 5th, and November 10th. Those are gonna be the movies for 2028, and I think the start of Phase 7 for the MCU. But we're not talking about the MCU right now. I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, no, Sonic Knuckles is a series. It premiered on Paramount Plus, which I don't have, and I watched this. I watched this through other means. But yeah, no, and we covered the trailer episode. We covered the trailers when they were coming out, as they were coming out, and I gotta say, I wanted this to be, I guess, better than it came out. Sadly, it came out the way it did. Not that it was bad or anything, but it wasn't really good either. And I'll get into that. I'll get into why I think that. However, um, there's some things here and there that I don't necessarily agree. That I don't think we're for the best, and I think this show has a really big problem. And that's its runtime. Just before we get into anything, I want to say the runtime for this show is, I think, abysmal. This show did not have much to work with, and this is the second video game adaptation. I think it's like did we? No, I was gonna say, oh, we last episode was Halo. No, last episode was Fallout. The episode before that was Halo. But yeah, another Paramount Plus a video game adaptation. And Halo had more episodes to it than this one. And I don't understand why. Halo was much worse for it. It dragged on. Season 2 was better. And I liked some things about it. But Knuckles is just kind of, I don't know. The Knuckles show has 6 episodes, which are all just a little bit over or under 30 minutes. I don't know who approved this. Okay. It's and for like the entire runtime, this is pretty much a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, which sounds like a lot of time for Knuckles. However, it's not what it does. It's not what it does, and that's not what it feels like. I'll get into that more, I guess, in the plot. I'll put it up here just so I can remember it. But yeah, this show suffers a lot from its shorter runtime, but did it at least do something? Maybe. We'll get into it. But yeah, let's just get into it. Starting off, we always start off with the CGI and action. And honestly, even though this show's really short, the CGI that allowed for the CGI to be better. So the CGI actually looks pretty good, all things considered. However, it goes without saying, that the CGI in the show itself is not something that's used a lot. Because if you look at it, if you watch the show, I mean, you're here for the review, I guess. I don't know, but if you look at everything, Knuckles isn't in it for a long time. Most of the show is focused on Wade, which I will get into later, because that's one of the big criticism of the show, that this is not that it's not the Knuckles show. That is not right. So yeah, okay. All right. I'm looking at this here. Yeah. Okay, so Knuckles doesn't really have a lot of screen time, and that's a shame because I think he's the best part of the show. And the action, I feel like, is for a show that has a $60 million budget. It's actually pretty good. I gotta say I like it. So some of the things, at least with Knuckles, I think it's like solid and at least enjoyable. It's not it's not like bad. But yeah, just it didn't focus on all that CGI stuff until the very end. So just kind of not having that there made it so the CGI looked better. However, it's kind of a false positive because you're I don't know if that's the right idiom to use, but it's used more so as a crutch to not have it be about Knuckles. This show is not about Knuckles in any shape or form, but when he is there, he's actually like, and I think he looks well. He looks like how he does in the movies. There's no visible downgrade in quality to how he looks in the movies. There is a big downgrade in quality when we come to like the big mech at the end. That one looks rough. That one does look a bit rough for what it is. They knew that they needed something big, or at least something in quotation marks big to uh to wrap the series up. But um just looking at this thing, it's like, oh yeah, we think the Knuckles series is gonna be a chaos adaptation. What the fuck? It's gonna adapt Sonic Adventure 1. It did none of those things. Fucking bowling tournament. Um. Okay. But yeah, this show. I'm looking at this like the show isn't bad. It's just like not what people wanted, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, let's just get into the characters, right? But yeah, CGI in action is solid when it's not when it's not really, you know, trying to be when it's not trying to be like big. I think it's fine. Let's get into the characters. Knuckles. Okay, this show is not about this guy. It's so sad. This show is really, really not about Knuckles. It's sad to say because I would have loved to see an actual Knuckles show, but the thing is that there's nothing to say in that regard. Knuckles does technically go through a character arc. However, I feel like it's not focused a lot, but it is written. It is written, and I do appreciate that they tried to do something with the character, even though they weren't able to probably have like Idris Elba do a lot of stuff, especially while filming Sonic 3, and also because he's a big ticket actor. You know, like a lot of these characters here, like it's Idris Elba. I mean, that's Kid Cudi. What? Okay. I didn't know that. Apparently, Kid Cudi was one of the agents. I did not know that. Okay, that I did not expect. But yeah, like maybe they couldn't really get him to be to be to to lend his voice for Knuckles a lot of like for a prolonged period of time. And again, he the show's budget didn't really allow for uh like Knuckles to show up a lot. So at least giving him something I appreciate, and him trying to figure out like he's new on Earth, doesn't really adapt to the home well, but then he like through Wade and all that he learns to appreciate his home. I think that's an interesting character arc here, but yeah, it it was the thing that the show promoted itself as, like, oh yeah, it is a show about Knuckles, and it's gonna go and it's gonna be about him and all that stuff, but it really wasn't. But and this character arc is put excuse me, put in the back burner a lot, and mostly leaves room for Wade instead, which is something. Which is a choice. It's a choice. I'm not gonna say it's a bad one, but it is a choice to do that. Yeah. But yeah. Overall, Knuckles is, I think, handled pretty well. Overall, it's just that he doesn't have enough screen time to really make him the main character, and that might be through different factors. And the show itself, I feel, tries to make it seem like it was all about Knuckles, and Knuckles is on this journey and all that stuff, but it really wasn't. It was about Wade. It was about Wade. So you know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about Wade. Wade, goddamn, he's not a terrible character. Let's be real. It's not like the show handled him poorly. It's not like that at all. It really isn't. However, it's not that the show. It's also the fact that the show did not focus on what it needed to focus on, which was Knuckles. Wade could have been an interesting character, and I feel like, I mean, it's not like he could have been. He is the main character of the show, and I think he could have been a more interesting supporting character, at least to help Knuckles, I don't know, do things. But that's not the case. Wade instead is the main character. This show is the Wade show. It's the Wade Whipple show, which I will get into later. Because and it's just all about him. And I gotta say, honestly, it's not a bad. It's not a bad arc. It really is not a bad arc. Because I don't know. I don't know. I'll talk about it in the plot. But really, the Wade Whipple stuff isn't bad. I did not. It's not like, sure, okay, fine, sure, it's not about Knuckles, but the fact that it was still written well, I liked it. With Wade, being sort of like this wimp, and he was, and in the first two movies, he was treated as a joke, but here, we see him sort of evolve into being more, into being, standing up more for himself and ready to face his fears, face his dad in the bowling ball tournament. And I like how Knuckles kind of, and I like his friendship with Knuckles and how that like empowers him pretty much to actually go on and face his dad, and also reconnect with his family and all that. This journey really changed him. Like, I like that. Like, that's actually interesting and adds depth to this overall just kind of minor character in the movies. Even though he was still a minor character in Sonic 3. He shows up for one scene. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm giving my. I mentioned this, I think, when we reviewed Sonic 3, but he says like, oh, I'm gonna give my life to defending the Chaos Emerald, or the Master Emerald. And then and then Sonic instantly takes it away from me. He's like, "Well, I tried." And I think I joked that he should fucking kill himself, but joking. But yeah, no, I actually didn't mind like the arc Wade went through. There's a lot of stupid stuff. Let's be fucking real. Like, this show does not take itself seriously. So and it's like a lot of like the scenes with Wade are not taken seriously. Like, we have, for example, throughout the show we see, what do you call it? We see like Wade like have a take a bicycle from a kid to defeat this guy on a motorcycle. Like, okay, and then he's trapped in a cage by again the same bounty hunter, and it's all stupid stuff, like how he bowls, I guess. But yeah, yeah, I think Wade. The thing, yeah, no, just the thing with Wade is that he's just the main character, and I think for no reason, but I can't really fault the show for that because it actually wrote him well. That's like the worst thing here. Sure, it's not it's not what the show was presented as, but when you kind of disassociate itself from that, like, it's not bad. It's not bad. So yeah, that's like my main problem. It's not bad, but goddamn. Anyways, yeah, no, that wait. Let's move on to the agents. So the agents are okay. They are okay, I guess. They're not anything special to say the most about them. They're basically just Jesse and James. Like, I saw a little like just yeah, and I saw this little like image, like this collage, which showed what the Knuckles show actually was, and it showed like Jesse and James. Like, yeah, no, I kind of get that. They are just Jesse and James because they just kind of are here because they want to have more villains. They don't do much for the plot, and they kind of disappear. I mean, they get taken out after, like, in like the hotel suite and whatever, and not the hotel suite, yeah, hotel suite, like the penthouse and stuff. That's where they get like taken out of the plot and things. So yeah, no, they don't do much aside from me being surprised that was Kid Cudi. I did not know that's who that was. I've obviously heard of him, but I didn't know what he looked like, and I didn't know he acted in the Knuckles show of all things. Yeah, these were kind of goofy. They they were just kind of there, to be completely honest, and they were there to, I guess, sort of set up things, really. And yeah, they're not gonna be here, and they're gun agents, and we're not gonna see them again, probably. I think for what they were, they did their job. It's just kind of like, eh. I feel like they could have maybe made them much more of a presence, but I don't know. That's just me. Let's move on to the Whipple family. Wanda and the mom, Gwendolyn, right? That's what she's called. Where the fuck is she? Uh huh. Where is she? No, I'm being dead fucking Wendy. Oh yeah, Gwendolyn. What the fuck? Wendy, right? That's weird, but whatever. I was like, where the fuck is she? Okay, whatever. Yeah, no, just the two. Uh, I think they present like an interesting thing, and honestly, they like I said, they mostly serve again. They're supporting characters. They mostly serve their purpose with helping out Wade's character, and Wade. It's mostly about Wade reconnecting with with his family, and all. And I do like how we do see the dad later on, and I think that's the next character I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm talking about Wanda and the mom Gwendolyn. The fuck. So yeah, I like them for what they are. Like they're and the sister being this, I guess up like upper own as like FBI agent, not really, and saying that I can do things because I'm an FBI agent, motherfucker. Not just a motherfucker. It's a PG show, but you know, like she does. Like she does like say like, oh yeah, I'm better because I'm an FBI agent and all that shit. So yeah, it's mostly treated. They're mostly treated as like a comedy, but I do like how the mother does add things like, uh, I warning about the dad and how like and how he abandoned them and all that stuff. Like I like that. That she's much more than that, and tries to look out for Wade, and you know, like she is a supporting character, so she doesn't do much, but you know, I like how these two, what they added to the show, and how they supported Wade's character, and I think the mom more so than the sister. The sister is a chaotic mess, but you know, I mean, whatever, right? It adds like that chaos of the family that happened after Pistol Pete left, and how they try to like get back to how they tried to like reconnect and all that stuff, and I really and I like that. I like that a lot. But yeah, let's talk about Pistol Pete. The bastard himself. I like how they sort of how the show. Obviously, the show you're not meant to. And something that I thought watching was like, this guy just left his family, and I feel, and the show's making me feel like I'm supposed to be like glad that he remembers him, but then obviously I think that's what this show's meant to be like. This guy's acting weird. This guy's acting really weird. But yeah, then the show reveals that he's actually kind of the main villain here. He's the reason why. He's the reason why Wade is here to beat him and all that shit. Knuckles, as Knuckles says, to best him in a trial of combat. That's why. That's why Pistol Pete is here, and I gotta appreciate at least what he added, and obviously him turning him. I think it's very in character for him to turn Wade in, just because, and obviously Wade is a wanted fugitive, which doesn't really add much to the plot. I feel like we could have done without that. All I did is add like a fun little reaction image. So yeah, I don't know. that was just it. That's all I really added. But yeah, I like what Pistol Pete added here. Pistol Pete Whipple. And how much of just a scumbag he is, and how the show, I guess, tries to like make you see how Wade sees him, and then like obviously the betrayal, and then we go into how Wade, like how everyone really sees like who he really is. Obviously, the show, because it's a kids show, it tries to put Pistol Pete in like a cartoonishly evil image, like it tries to make him cartoonishly evil. Like for example, he's British, which is already a fucking offense. I'm kidding, but that is like a thing. Like he has the posh accent, and he's so like suave and all that stuff. And he play, obviously it's all fake, but he does play. He does try to play it off and that. So you know. And that's something that the character does throughout the show, and then he becomes like super cartoonishly evil. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just that it was like a sudden turn, but whatever, right? The one thing I can't, I can't talk much about. The one thing I don't really like about this show is the second is the I guess the what you would call the official main antagonist, which is the buyer. God, he stinks. It's not that he's a bad I mean, I guess you could call him bad villain. Because all he does is sit in the background for 2 episodes and come in, I gotta kill you, Knuckles, I want your power. And then he gets promptly defeated in like 2 seconds. I have no idea why this character was here. This character does nothing, and like his backstory is like, oh, I work for Robotnik and in Gun. It's like, well, that makes no fucking sense. Robotnik never worked for Gun. To my knowledge, at least in the fucking movies, he never said that. Unless he means Gerald Robotnik, which he might honestly mean that. But yeah, no, I have no idea what the fuck this guy means. I think he might be a little bit delusional. But yeah, just overall, the buyer kind of sucks. The buyer is not a good villain. Again, like I said, he shows up. He's actually cartoonishly evil because all he does is he wants Knuckles' power, and that's it. That's all he does. That's all he thinks. That's all he wants, and yeah, no, that's all he does. And then he gets beaten in like 2 seconds by Knuckles with the flames of disaster. So yeah, no, just overall not great villain to end off the series with, or yeah, no, end off the series with. His only contribution to the entire show is to have that big action scene that they were kind of forced into because they needed to, because they wanted to, because oh yeah, we need something to put for the advertisements. So yeah, that fuck. Anyways, let's move on to the plot. Let me get something out of the way. I understand why people are upset at this show. I get it. It's not what what was promised. It's not. It just isn't. However, I feel like you kind of have to disassociate from that. It's not that it was promised. It's like Sonic fans just put too much of a higher standard, and I understand that. I actually kind of do. Why the Halo show? These the motherfuckers at Paramount dropped buttloads of money into Halo. Let's not kid ourselves. I don't know what the Halo show budget. I'm gonna look it up. I don't care. Halo show budget. I had a dream today, I think, or like I guess today, yeah. Between 90 million and 200 million. That's hard to fucking see. 10 million per episode. Where the hell did the money go? Yep, that is the show. Like 200 million. That's like. Was it like 20 million? No, yeah, like 19 million something per like around 20 million per episode. It's an insane budget. For the first season, 200 million for the first season. That is an insane budget. But yeah, like I understand why. Paramount Plus has already put a lot of money into Halo, and that's because to match the scale of Halo. So, people thought that, oh yeah, the Knuckles show would follow suit. That it would be big and adapt like a storyline. For example, like I think I mentioned how this show could have adapted Sonic Adventure 1. However, that wasn't the case because Sonic Adventure 2 was going to be adapted by Sonic 3. So they didn't do that. Sadly. And instead, we got the bowling tournament. And I feel like people needed to lower their expectations. I think that's the best thing they could have done. Because like if you take it away from what that is, from like what you didn't get, it's honestly not terrible. Like it's not bad. and I'm not gonna count it. Okay, yeah, sure, it's a video game adaptation. However, I'm not going to necessarily take points off it not being an adaptation of the game because it's not trying to be. That's not what it's trying to be. That's not. It's not. In part, it's not what the Sonic's movies are trying to be. They're trying to be like pretty much their own self-contained storylines using Sonic characters, while still making it very much Sonic, and also adapting certain aspects of the games because they want to, because it's there and they can use it, but they are having their own twist on it. It's not a direct adaptation of the games. However, there's some other stuff like Halo where it's brags like it's not trying to be. However, with Halo and all that stuff, it tries to get the same points across and said to be an adaptation, but it's not. And like for example, the Fallout show. The Fallout show is also not an adaptation. It's using the same universe, sure, but it is not an adaptation of any game. And this shouldn't be judged as that. I don't think. I think things like the Borderlands show, the Borderlands movie, which I will talk about soon, should. I mean, if you guys are listening to this, the Borderlands movie episode is coming out soon, very soon. So yeah, hopefully today, that's coming out. But there is a lot of episodes to go over. But yeah, no. Yeah, I still want to say like, the Borderlands movie is trying to be an adaptation of the games. However, it changes so much that it just ends up not being one and just failing. So yeah, and the Knuckles show again isn't like that. However, the Knuckles show does suffer from problems like it being a show about not Knuckles. It doesn't really focus on Knuckles all that much. And its runtime does not allow it to give it that much time. Sure, it gives a lot of time to Wade, but not to Knuckles. So there's this dichotomy of whether Knuckles is the protagonist or the antagonist, and whether Wade is the antagonist or protagonist. And I think that's what I think people, and I think that's my main problem. It's not a show about Knuckles; it is a show about Wade. But overall, nothing here is bad. This is a much more character-driven show, so I think I explained much more what the show was about with the characters. But overall, yes, the pace is weird. Like, not weird, but it's definitely short, and it feels short. And it feels like they couldn't really do much what they were given. So I gotta give them that. I think more runtime could have helped with the narrative. However, overall, it's not bad. It's just not bad. It's just not, like, good either. It does, like, I think the bare minimum. And the fact that it doesn't focus on Knuckles all that much is a detriment. It really is. It really is. So, yeah. Overall, yeah, no. It's just not... It's not bad, it's not good. If you came for Knuckles, you're not gonna get it. But if you're open to things, I mean, watch it. You're gonna get a pretty okay show out of it. So that's why I'm giving it a C tier. Nothing after. Just C. Anyways, yeah, no. That's it. What did you guys think about the Knuckles show? Leave in the comments below. All of our socials on the description. And if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, follow us. You want to stay up to date with our content. Rate us if you like or dislike the episode. If you're on YouTube, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with our content. Like if you like the episode, dislike if you dislike it. Share around if you think it was sharing. And yeah, no, that's about it. See ya.